pictures with my mom. Basically, it's a parade of various places and communities around Hidalgo to celebrate the different cultures, different traditions that every place has.
So we knew there was a chance it might rain on us that day, but we decided to go anyways. I mean, if the dancers and everyone in the parade weren't letting it stop them, especially after all the work they put into this, I think it's only appropriate that we go too, especially since we were already planning to. I actually really enjoy photographing parades, especially here in Mexico. The textures, colors, and the outfits are usually very detailed, and I definitely think it's harder to get good shots, but I kind of like the challenge, so... Try to get there pretty early to grab a good spot, usually right in the front, and my go-to is crouching down, not just because, you know, I stay out of people's way, but because I love the angle, especially, you know, on camera. Most people won't notice me there, but the ones who do end up looking straight into my camera lens, and I really like that perspective for some reason. I feel like it gives the image a different feel. We don't usually get that perspective as much, so I usually like crouching down and just shooting upwards. I've also heard some debates among some street photographers about whether or not having somebody look straight into your camera makes a good image or not. Some people say it ruins the candid feel, but honestly I love it. I wish I had a better explanation, but to be honest, I just love, you know, that brief little moment. I mean, it's pretty unfiltered and it's so quick that just capturing it can feel powerful sometimes. So me personally, editing has always been one of my favorite parts of photography, and I'm not afraid to push colors a little further, you know, to something that might seem a little bit more natural. But I like to think of some photographs as paintings, not necessarily capturing things exactly as they were, but, you know, more as what they felt like. And sometimes that means making them feel a little bit more magical, you know, more colorful. Right now I have my A7iii. I tried the 50mm 1.4 lens. I don't know, something about it didn't sit well with me. I was at a very closed aperture. I don't know, it kind of wasn't my vibe. So I'm pretty sure for right now I'm gonna change to the 35mm, which is... So right now I'm gonna change to this one. This is the one I've been using for most of my photographies. Most of the photographs I have on my Instagram or on my website, most of them are taken on this lens. Also, if y'all don't know, I'm studying my Japanese since my sister, she's gonna move there in a bit. So I'm trying to learn my Japanese so I can visit her and at least know the basics, you know what I mean? So right now I'm studying the hiragana. It's kind of hard. So she's right there. She's okay. She always looks a little scared and anxious, but she's not, I swear. She's chill. Also, she doesn't speak English, so she's probably like, well, she doesn't speak English. She doesn't understand English. She only understands Spanish because I only talk to her in Spanish. So one of my favorite parts of driving to my family's hometown has always been the views. I think they're always amazing, and I'm always surprised as to how big some of the mountains around us are. So without any real plan, we kind of spontaneously decided to take advantage of the good weather and so we headed to a nearby waterfall. It was actually really peaceful and quiet, just one of those simple, you know, unplanned moments that end up feeling special. We couldn't miss out on the chips, you know, but I think more than that, it was just nice spending time with my family. You know, even though we don't see each other as often anymore, it's always easy to reconnect, you know, no rush, just enjoying the little moments that make life feel special. So we only stayed with my family for a few more days before heading back home, but of course we had to get some pan from my favorite panaderia before going back home. So my grandma also had a flight back to the US in a few days, so we wanted to make her last days here in Mexico feel peaceful, and so we decided to take her to the forest, you know, to enjoy the quiet and soak in the fresh air. If you know me, you know I love a good hike. and an excuse to be out in nature, so of course I had to capture a few moments with my grandma. I think the light that day was exactly what I personally consider perfect, you know, somewhat harsh and warm, so I think that was just perfect for that day. So I actually think that this outing was the perfect way to end her trip. We woke up pretty early to take my grandma to the airport and make sure she got to her gate on time. Of course, me being the overthinker that I am, I kept stressing because I thought maybe that she wouldn't have made it to her gate, but you know, fortunately she did make it to her gate. And right after, my mom and I went back to the hotel to get some extra sleep, but once we woke up we grabbed breakfast and started planning our day. So basically we had the rest of the day free, so we wanted to go check out some places I hadn't been to. So one place my mom had been wanting to take me was Los Pinos, which is the old presidential house in Chapultepec. I'd never been, so we finally went, and it was actually really interesting to see. I actually think it's great that they turned it into a public museum, you know, with so much information about history and our country. Also, just a quick PSA for any photographers thinking of visiting, taking photos inside the actual building is prohibited. So by this point in the day, I wasn't feeling my greatest, but you know, I still tried to push through and capture a few more moments. But I think I definitely started to get a little sick. Obviously, we had to get on the Ferris wheel, and it was way higher than I expected, but the coolest part, it actually had a Bluetooth system, so I got to connect my music. that pretty much wrapped up my week. Honestly, vlogging this week made me more aware of what moments I wanted to capture. I know some people feel like taking too many pictures or videos pulls you out of the present moment, but I don't really see it that way. I think we forget most of our daily life commotions and the small moments that seem insignificant at the time, but I really love looking back at old videos and photos of my family and you know, relive those moments knowing they're frozen in time forever. If anything, capturing them makes me feel even more connected.